Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Timothy here with Mana Rocks, and why don't we do something a little different today and play a little bit of Brawl? I haven't played Brawl in a little while on the channel. When it was first kind of new to Arena, I played a little bit here and there, usually posted about one video a week, but there's a couple reasons I kind of stopped playing Brawl for the channel. The first one is that I noticed people weren't really brewing on Arena with Brawl. It's not like when you get together with some friends, everybody brings a neat deck. It just felt like everybody was kind of playing the best possible commanders, and that's just not my favorite way to play Brawl, right? I like to brew. I like to build kind of wacky decks, synergistic decks, and I kind of have a mind frame of playing in a four-person table where you can get away with, having a little bit of time, whereas on Arena, it's all heads up 1v1, and basically the whole goal is to get your opponent dead. So people tend to really only play the best commanders out there. Niv Mizzet Reborn, Golos, which is now banned, and cards like Yarok, just generically powerful cards that really only ask that you have the cards on Arena and then you play them and you win half your games, right? Niv Mizzet Reborn to me is just one of the most frustrating commanders to play against because every single card in that deck is just insanely powerful and you just get out card advantage so quickly. They always have the turn for Niv Mizzet, so that's kind of why I stopped playing Brawl. That, and they put this like really expensive entry fee on the Brawlers Guild Hall. It's like 10,000 coins. You don't really get anything other than this card that you can just spend a wild card on. So it didn't really seem worth it to use my coins to be able to, casually play Brawl. But due to the kind of coronavirus thing going on in the world, you are able to play Brawl for free right now, at least until April 16th, and I figured it'd be a good time to revisit the format since I haven't played since Throne of Eldraine and kind of see what's up. I decided that today we're going to play Kroxa, Titan of, Titan of Death or Titan of Hunger or something like that. Death's Hunger, of course. And this is going to be a Rakdos Sacrifice deck, your kind of Aristocrats deck. Now, a couple caveats here. First off, there's a couple Eldraine Brawl specific cards that I might have missed that would be really good for this deck that I just didn't check out. And also, there's historic cards that I believe are legal in Brawl. I saw someone playing the Gitrog monster earlier, which is a historic legal card on Arena, but I don't really know what those cards are. So we might check those out at the end of the video and see if we can use them to kind of up the power of the deck. I also made a couple changes that I haven't tried out yet. I was playing Cavalier Flame. It just didn't really cut it here. I wasn't a big fan of how it hurt the mana base. Like triple red just doesn't work too well in a deck that cares about triple black a lot, or cares about its black mana a lot. I tried out Gruesome Menagerie, but there weren't any real good one-drops to go with it. I'm not a big fan of the whole cat oven thing when it comes to 60-card singleton decks. It just doesn't come together too often, and it's really not even that strong when you do, if your starting life total is 25. And then I cut a couple other cards here or there, but cards I'm trying out. Sir Conrad seems like pretty good Blood Artist type effect. It's basically your more expensive version of Mayhem Devil, but it also is kind of cool with, exiling cards from your graveyard and stuff like that. Decent mana sink as well, although this deck tends to use a lot of its mana. I put in Erebos, which was just another sacrifice outlet. I don't think this card is amazing, but I have found that I just need to get my creatures in the graveyard somehow, and this should be able to do it. And then there's just a couple tweaks here and there that I'm going to try out, which I might mention as we go. Theater of Horrors has been a little bit underwhelming in a format where you can just basically be dead on turn 3 or 4. We've got big finishers in Command Tower and Liliana, and of course, even though our commander is a 2-drop, it is one of our finishers. There's a lot of cool things that you can do with Kroxa, right? You can obviously sack it while its triggers on the stack to a lot of other effects, but you also benefit from things like Anax Hardened in the Forge, which if you decide to send Kroxa to your graveyard when it sacrifices, Anax will turn that into 2 1/1s as well as the Kroxa trigger. Nightmare Shepherd is really sweet with Kroxa because it sacrifices itself, and then you can choose to exile it, put it back in the command zone from that trigger, and still get the little 1/1 Kroxa, which will then enter the battlefield and give you another Kroxa trigger. So a lot of sweet things there. We'll see if we can find these little niche synergies as we go. But yeah, we're basically playing Aristocrat-style sacrifice deck. Not the most insane version of this deck that we could play. We are hurting on mana fixing a little bit. It's probably worth trying to jam another 3-mana Mana Rock. Or, I don't know, is there a 2-mana Mana Rock? I think Mind Stone is illegal in Historic, so if we can play that in Commander, we should definitely consider it. It's also really good with Mayhem Devil. But yeah, that's the name of the game, Kroxa Aristocrats. I'm going to record probably about 5 matches with this. Hopefully we'll win a couple, or if not, we'll have a little bit of fun while doing it. Just a heads up, if I play against like a Niv Mizzet Reborn deck and it just completely crushes us and we don't get to really play a game, I'm not even going to include that, but I'll make you aware if that's happened in the video. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and jam Kroxa Brawl. If you like this sort of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We don't do Brawl too often, but if I hear from people that they want to see more Brawl, then I will certainly go out of my way to make it happen. And if you have a specific commander or legendary that you want to see me make a deck of and record some videos with, feel free to drop that suggestion in the comments below, or find us on Twitter at MTG_ManaRocks and let me know there as well. So why don't we play some Brawl? I will see you all in match number 1. All right, here we are for match number 1. We are on the draw with a little bit of a sketch hand. We've got a lot of good 3s that we can draw, but we do have a Bedevil. We're playing against Ayara, so kind of a cool matchup here. I have played against Ayara at least once today, although I think it was a different opponent. And I think this hand is good enough to probably keep. If we don't draw anything else to do by turn 3, we'll just run out Kroxa on turn 2. And this deck usually plays a lot of early black creatures and uses Ayara to get advantage off of it. So let's go ahead and run out Swamps. I think it's probably generally more important to run out black first because we have an Ayara of our own. Orzhov Enforcer, a card I'd consider here. Ooh, Elspeth's Nightmare is going to be really good if they decide to run out their Ayara on turn 3. We are going to go ahead and just get our Kroxa value here because we have nothing else to do on 2. They discard. We will put that in the command zone, actually. So the first time I play Kroxa, I've always been putting it back in the command zone so that it's just something to do with 4 mana. It's a little weird, obviously, because you want to put in the graveyard, but you usually don't fill up your graveyard that fast. This isn't trying to, like, turbo it out. So you get just another ETB trigger off of casting it from the command zone. We are going to kill our opponent's commander here, which is really nice. And then we get the duress effect off of Elspeth's Nightmare, which basically means they're going to try and cast their best non-creature spell from their hand. They might not have too many, honestly. But if they have like a good removal spell waiting and we don't have a good target for it, we might be able to get them here. Foulmire Knight, bunch of 1-drops. Let's see if Elspeth's Nightmare hits something here. It did not, and their hand is pretty good too. Grey Merchant's fine. Dread Presence, if they draw a swamp, means I probably don't want to play something that dies to Dread Presence. So what do I want to play here? Could play Nightmare Shepherd, and they could make me sacrifice it, sure. And they could play Grey Merchant or replay Ayara. Could also play Rankle and attack, make them sacrifice a creature. They can do that pretty easily. Could play Annex as well. I could also just go Bedevil this Priest. And then my creatures are going to survive from that point forward. I would rather use Eat to Extinction, actually. I do want to keep my life total as high as possible for this command, the Dread Horde, though, which currently doesn't actually look that good. So I think I just go Eat to Extinction the Priest, take my 2, let them play whatever. If they draw a Swamp, they might actually just replay Ayara, to be honest. But then my creatures are safe from the Priest. However, if I just go like Nightmare Shepherd and they go sack this, I take 2, they make a Spirit, they can play one of these from their hand. I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. I'm going to use the Hero's Downfall effect that uses the most mana. Swamp can probably just stay on top. We got plenty to play. And let's see what they do here. Again, if they draw a Swamp, didn't feel like they drew a Swamp. So probably just playing Dread Presence. Oh, Fruit. Okay, sure. It's a pretty good card if you're mono black. You can just play it regardless. Wow, into another creature. Okay, so exile the graveyard. Doesn't matter too much. We didn't get anything in there. They've got multiple Death Touchers on board, which is kind of annoying for what we've got going on here. And I assume they're going to play Grey Merchant first. 5 mana. Just go Rankle, make you discard a card. I can discard something. Rankle discard doesn't seem that bad. They're going to deal 3 to me, and if they play Grey Merchant, that's another 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to take 8 down to 12. Could make us both sack a creature, but they've got this skeleton, so that seems kind of silly. If I play Nightmare Shepherd, they attack with the Death Touchers. I could trade off, honestly, but that seems pretty poor. I do want to get their creatures in the graveyard, though. So yeah, I think I'm going to go Rankle, make us discard a card, and I'll probably just discard one of my creatures so I can Dread Horde it back. I think that's how I turn the tables in this game, is by like reanimating a Gray Merchant. They're going to discard the whatchamacallit for sure. I'm not going to have us draw, and I'm not going to have us sack a creature because they've got the Sanitarium Skeleton. So discard probably just Anax. And I will ship the turn. Ooh, they discarded Gray Merchant. That's good news for us, because that means we can get it back with Command the Dreadhorde. So I'm going to take 3 here. If they got a Swamp, I'll probably take 5. No, they draw a card. Ooh, look at that combo. So they're going to put Gray Merchant on top. Bad news bears indeed. Alright, so that was our 6th land. We're going to be able to cast this, but we need our life total as high as possible. They've also got Gary on top of their deck. Gonna play the 6th land. Gonna just play Nightmare Shepherd here. Although they go Gray Merchant, I kill it. And then I command the Dreadhorde back some creatures. Trade Rankle off for something here. Yeah, I think I just keep up Bedevil for the Gray Merchant. And try to trade Rankle off for, like, basically anything, right? Probably Foulmire Knight. Maybe Orzhov Enforcer, because that's better for me to get back with Command the Dreadhorde. They decide to go for Ayara instead. A little annoying. So now they've got a little bit of an engine set up. I still think I just trade here. But that Gray Merchant's going to do a lot of work here. Alright. You got it. I'm going to make him discard Gray Merchant here. Problem is I'm going to take so much damage next turn if I do that. Command Tower. So we can play Kroxa, goes to the graveyard, makes him discard a card, and then we go Rankle, attack, make us both discard a card. And then I have to have enough life to bring this back. Alright, let's go Kroxa first. I just assume they're going to discard the non-Gray Merchant card in their hand. How good was this Witch's Cottage for them? The correct answer is very good. They discarded a Rankle of their own. We will put Kroxa in the graveyard now. And then we're going to attack with Rankle. I'm probably just going to Bedevil this thing, so I'll take 3, 4, 5, 6, down to 8. That gives me enough to go Command the Dreadhorde on basically just Gray Merchant. Which is not actually amazing. What if I go Bedevil here? They're not going to attack with this, so I take 1, 2, 3. That might be better. They get to keep AR on board, but I get to bring back Dread Presence instead. Alright, let's attack and make us both discard a card. I'm going to discard Nightmare Shepherd. Could have us both sack a creature as well. That doesn't seem very good, though. Let's go discard just that. Buy Nightmare Shepherd. And then untap Bedevil the Dread Presence so that they can't just sack it to Ayara. And pass the turn. So here, if they don't attack with ARA, I'm only taking 3, which might work out a little bit better. Tome of Legends, I forgot about this card. This is a nice inclusion to commander decks that don't have a lot of card advantage, which, you know, Kroxa enters the battlefield a lot, so this might actually be a nice little tool. Ooh, they did attack with ARA. They do not care about me or my life total. That makes Command the Dreadhorde a little bit worse. And that's basically all I can cast this turn, so... assuming they don't have any interaction here or, you know, an instant speed black creature, if I go Command, I can do 8 mana's worth. So Gray Merchant plus like Kroxa not amazing for me. I can make us discard with Rankle, actually, but then they discard this thing. Ooh, I might be able to get it back, right? No. They can return it at instant speed. So maybe we just go for the Gray Merchant. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I bring back something dorky, 5. Do I attack with Rankle here? And make him discard and hopefully just have him discard something small? Or do I just keep Rankle back on defense? If I have him discard, I can bring back the Priest, and then I'll have 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll go down to 2, and then I'll gain 5 up to 7 facing down this, but I'll have 2 creatures on board. They'll be empty-handed. It's not actually great. I do need to cast something, right? So let's go to combat because they're going to force my hand. Sure, you know. I do got to get some damage in on him here. All right, so let's go discard a card. I don't think we should sack a creature here. I will discard my Priest. You will discard Pharika Spawn. It's pretty good. They don't have enough to put in the graveyard, or bring it back, though. They will if they untap and sack a creature. Let's go Command the Dreadhorde. Gray Merchant. That's 5. I'm at 9 life. 6, 7. I'm 1 short of being able to like bring back Kroxa here for some real value. Alright, that's what I'm going to do. Go to 2, and then go back up to 7. Opponent gains some life. Facing down a Pharika Spawn from the opponent here. If they cast Pharika Spawn, make me sack a creature. Ooh, that's a little... I mean, they could just hit a swamp here. Yeah, so they can still cast Pharika Spawn. Oh, no, I took enough cards out of their graveyard that they can't. Well, now they can. Sure. That's less damage that's coming at me. If they cast Pharika Spawn, I almost certainly just get rid of Priest of Forgotten Gods, right? And then I can start bringing back Kroxa. I don't really want to put that Gray Merchant in the graveyard. Maybe I should just be playing my own Gray Merchant in this deck. It's just a good card, right? If you've got enough black mana symbols. Alright, so if they go Pharika Spawn here, and I sack this, they attack for 2, I go down to 5. I play Kroxa. Attack with Rankle, maybe. It's close. This is really close. Also, keep in mind, Priest can deal 2 to him, but Kroxa is not guaranteed to deal 3 to him. Also, note, they have to exile Sanitarium Skeleton if they want to bring that Phyrexia, or, not Phyrexia, Pharika Spawn back. They have 2 cards in hand as well, though. Okay, so we're going with the Spawn. That is going to make me, I assume just sack this Priest has to be the right thing to do. And I forgot I'd take 1 there, so I'm going to take 2 more down to 4. Yeah, I'm not going to block. Liliana. This is so annoying, the Afterlife. Probably just go Liliana Plus, but then I'm dying pretty quickly to Ayara. I can attack with Rankle, make you discard a card, plus Liliana, so I have 2 creatures on board. They sack to draw a card. They would only need 2 creatures to kill me, right? That's if I attack with Rankle. I don't have to attack with Rankle here. I could also just play Kroxa, make you discard a card, and then Rankle make us discard a card. I think I'm going to get Liliana on board here. And just plus it and not attack. Go ahead. So if, 4 black creatures kill me because of Ayara, which is not good for me here. They have guaranteed 1 by just sacking Orzhov Enforcer. But I think Liliana gives me the best chance here. I'm not in a good spot. They've got the life advantage. They've got card advantage. Liliana is good, but me being as low as I am, not really where I need to be. I don't have a lot of life gain in this deck, so... Okay, I like this attack. It's a little awkward for me. So I think I just need to chump here for sure, and then trade with the Death Touchers. What does that leave me with? That leaves them with this, a 1/1 token, and whatever else they play this turn. That's bad. These Death Touchers are killing me, quite literally. And then hopefully Liliana's relevant. Like, the minus could mop up, but they're going to play other stuff from their hand as well. Maybe I just let this through, but then they get to draw off Ayara. And I can't even kill this. Yeah, I don't really want to put Grey Merchant back in their graveyard. But I think I need to prevent as much damage as possible. I get to draw off of every creature that dies here. So I would get to draw 3 cards. Sack Farika's Spawn. Huh. Agonize and Remorse is something. Sir Conrad, huh? Alright, 3 more black creatures and I'm dead. Oh, they're just going to replay the spawn again? Sure. So I'll go down to 2. I'll lose this zombie. I have Liliana, which can minus, but they've got 3 creatures on board. I'm going to be at 2 life. So I would need a removal spell. Oh, they have their own command, the Dread Horde. Alright, good game. You got the Grey Merchant. They did what I wanted to do, but they did it better. The 1/1 Death Touchers really got me there. It was mostly the Enforcer because it just shut off my sacrifice effect. It would have replaced itself. Maybe I still should have done something, but I think I took like maybe just 1 point of damage too much at some point, and then the command, the Dread Horde, wasn't quite as good as I needed it to be. Opponent got a little lucky with that Witch's Cottage. That was just a game-breaking card there because it let him reuse the Grey Merchant before I got to use it. But anyway, we take a loss in the first round. Still had a lot of fun. That was actually a close game, and I will see you all for match number 2. All right, welcome back. Match number 2 against Tajik, Legion's Edge, another interesting commander, so I like it. Unfortunately, I got tap land, so this is a little on the slow side against a Boros deck. I am on the play, however. I think I just keep lands on top here. I've got a pretty decent hand, like I can kill creatures. They also have a tap land, which I like. And I could run out Kroxa here. I've got a lot of 3-drops. I think I just do that, honestly. Although this guarantees I don't have to take any damage off my Blood Crypt. I don't need to play Kroxa, though, do I? No, we can probably wait on Kroxa. That's a tough decision, actually. Can I afford to take 2, or should I just avoid it? They're just going to discard something they don't care about. Alright, let's just guarantee not having to take damage off Blood Crypt. And then start playing our 3-drops. If they play a creature here, I might just play Crafter it. Fencing Ace. It's a nice one to have with Tajik to follow up with. So I think I probably just keep up Murderous Rider here. And then if they go Tajik attack, or Tajik, I can just Murderous Rider that. Take my 2 from the Fence and Ace. So I'll go down to 22 this turn. That keeps Tajik off my back for another couple turns. And not really in a position to rankle, unfortunately. Boom, boom. Alright, Bedevil. So we got all the removal in the world. I guess we just play Plaguecrafter, which isn't really amazing here. I could play Murderous Rider, actually. Murderous Rider seems fine. Tapped Blood Crypt, pass. Just this is the type of matchup where you need to stabilize and then try setting up with cards like this. So we're going to try to remove things, which means I probably need to hold up mana to kill Tajik again next turn. But we'll see what they play this turn. Got a 1/1 Double Striker. This is a good creature to augment. Eidolon of Obstruction. I don't really have any Planeswalkers in my deck besides Davriel. Bounty Agent, tap to kill a legendary permanent. Don't mind drawing more mana here. I do need a 6th land so I can start double spelling, though. But I think what we're going to do here is play Kroxa, get it in the graveyard, and then hold up Bedevil. Although Eat to Extinction makes it more likely that I'm going to find my 6th mana, which would be pretty nice. Murderous Rider doing a pretty good job of holding off this board. Let's do Eat to Extinction here, I think. Bounty Agent's a pretty cool option. Oh, are we going to attack first? Yep. So what do they have? Some sort of trick, obviously. Which one do I care most about? Probably Fence and Ace. I mean, they're all 2 power here. If I can kill one of the first strikers, it's probably better for me. Sure, Fence and Ace will do more damage in the long run, I think. Let's see what trick they've got here. It is interesting to see something like Tajik over Feather or something along those lines. 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. Okay, so it didn't really matter what I blocked. I'm going to go ahead and use my mana here. I'm going to Eat to Extinction. Probably the Eidolon of Obstruction. It doesn't look like they have a 4th land, honestly. Although this can kill Rankle. Yeah, let's just Eat to Extinction Bounty Agent. Ayara. I don't think I actually want to draw that, do I? And then this kills Murderous Rider. Put it on the bottom of the library. I take 2. Sure. Judith. We did not draw the land. So this is a tough spot to be in because they don't have the 5th land, but if they do, they get to kind of get us pretty nicely. I might just play Plaguecrafter and use it as a 1-for-1 removal spell. Although I guess I can keep up Bedevil at instant speed. Could attack with Rankle. I don't think there are too many other defensible options there. We're not in Kroxa range. Oh, actually, you know what? This is any target, isn't it? So yeah, we can do this. Let's go Judith and then play Kroxa and sack it and use that to kill, I guess, Eidolon of Obstruction. Plus they have to discard a card. Discard Chandra, Acolyte of Flame. We will put this in, I guess, the command zone so we can do it again. No, that messed us up last time. Let's go ahead and just pop this Eidolon of Obstruction. Now we can technically block Fence and Ace, so they got to do something here, but if they drew the 5th land, they go Tajik here, that could suck for us. At least it makes this bigger, so it's kind of nasty. Rankle's not bad with Judith. Hushbringer. So ETBs and death triggers don't happen, which means Judith does nothing. Giant Killer. 1/2 tapper. Sure. So Plaguecrafter does nothing on this board. I think this is pretty easy. Go for like Theater of Horrors plus Bedevil. Just to maximize mana. I assume they're going to tap down with Giant Killer here. They are running short on cards. Remember that this prevents non-combat damage to their other creatures, so that would stop Judith too. Yeah, okay. I like this, so I'm probably going to go ahead and Bedevil Hushbringer here. That unlocks Judith again. It lets me Plaguecrafter. You know, Rankles can still do its thing. Also, 2 cards away from just casting this. So that can give +2/+2 next turn. I don't believe it can cast the other half. And I can actually cast both of these. Alright, let's go Rankle, attack. Oh, we have this too, though. So if I go Plaguecrafter, I can kill... They should sack Fence and Ace. They might not. Oh, actually, we can go Rankle plus Annex here. So attack with Rankle. Trigger. At the very least, we need them to lose a life. Actually, we don't because they've already lost life from the attack. I don't really want to draw a card. I don't think we need to do anything. I think we just say, okay. And then we cast Annex. Pass turn. My creatures are bigger with Judith, which is very nice for Annex. Still doesn't quite look like they hit that 5th land. Oh, tapped land. Good for us. Scry to the bottom. They can tap a creature. They can give something +2/+2 with the not Cavalier, but the Arcanist. I feel like we're in pretty good control of this game. We've got Theater of Horrors going. We're fairly stable on board. Opponent's stumbling a little bit, but Judith is pretty nice crowd control here. And they just have to pass the turn. Land. All right, so we're going to start with Plaguecrafter, I think. Sack it to itself. Yeah, this should be pretty good. So if they sack Fence and Ace to Plaguecrafter, I can just shoot this for 1, and then when Rankle attacks, I can sack the one of the satyrs this is going to make. This is actually awesome. Judith, Annex, and the satyr. So sack Plaguecrafter. They sack that. I get to deal a damage to actually Arcanist. And then attack with Rankle. We both sack a creature. Oh yeah, I guess you could do that too. Could also just attack with Annex here. Okay, we don't get to kill Arcanist, so sure. I forgot they had a tapper on board. Still looking pretty good here. That unlocks this. And can't do anything else this turn. We can at very minimum activate this and just shoot them for 1. All right, are we going to see Tajik? Tajik does protect their creatures from Judith. This is 2 to activate, so they can't go Tajik and tap a creature. They also got to kind of keep Rankle off their back, though. A board wipe would be decent for them, but not great. I would still come out with 2, 4, 5 tokens. Tap there. Get in some damage with the Arcanist. Sure. This only deals 3. I got something else in hand. Oh, they can't cast that? I guess because it's 5. Chance for Glory? Okay. You get an extra turn. So all their creatures are permanently indestructible. They're going to take 1 more turn here, and they're going to lose on their end step. So if they don't deal 17 to me this turn, they die. Let's see if they can do it. I don't think I'm going to die here. Nice. All right, cool. Well, we got ahead on that one from them stumbling, but, you know, we didn't hit our 3-drop creatures on time. We missed a land drop for a turn. Looked a little dicey there, but, you know, Tajik, I guess we can definitely crowd control a couple X1s if we draw Judith. So Judith was kind of the all-star of that matchup. We got a lot of synergy going there, too. We were pretty close to bringing back Kroxa, in which case the red-white deck's just not going to beat a 6/6 on board. So we are currently 1-1. Not that a record matters. Let's go ahead and jump in for match number 3. See you there. All right, welcome back. We are here for match number 3. We're against another really powerful commander, Nicobolus Dragon God. Grixis, usually just really heavy control. Hard for a creature-based deck to beat it, but we're going to give it our best shot. We are on the draw here. One way we can combat Grixis is by trying to make them discard a lot. Unfortunately, they tend to have just like overpowered draw spells, and Nicobolus is really good if they can ramp it out a turn early. We are ourselves going to try to ramp ahead. See if they got a 3-mana rock. Murderous Rider is decent to have against a Planeswalker commander. Judith, not ideal 3-drop, but fine. Narset's fine. We can deal with a Narset here. We don't draw too many extra cards in this deck anyway, so we're not super worried about that. It's just the card advantage it gives them. They drew a Storm's Wrath. They currently have no red mana on board, though. We drew Sir Conrad, which is pretty good. And, yeah, pretty easy Judith here. Remember that we can use Kroxa alongside Judith to just ping. So we do technically have lethal on Narset here. Minus Narset. Looking for... Okay, they've got a Preordain, Discovery Dispersal. Might just cast that here if they're really looking for red mana. Cavalier's pretty good against Storm's Wrath. And it also hits their Planeswalker, so it's kind of a weird inclusion. Yeah, this Discovery is almost certainly looking for red mana here from the looks of it. Not necessarily. They did need double blue for Narset. They need... Yeah, they can't actually cast Bolus next turn because they can't... Yeah, they can't have a red and a black mana come down. Elspeth's Nightmare, pretty weak here against a control deck. I think... Well, we can cast one of our 5 drops, probably Sir Conrad, right? So I guess we go to combat, just hit Narset, might as well get it off board, plus we have Command the Dreadhorde in our deck. Let's go Conrad and pass. So they can't actually cast their Commander or Storm's Wrath next turn. They could easily have counterspells in hand. Tail's End is a good 2-mana counterspell. Could also have board Wraths in other colors. They might just not have found red mana with this Discovery. That's what it looks like. They just don't have red. So they're going to resort to some blue-black nonsense. Killing Conrad. Murderous Rider on Conrad. Shoot them for a damage. That's fine. Shoot them for 1 there. And they lost 2 off that. Price of Fame also not looking super great here. Elspeth's Nightmare is going to be able to take out this thing. Might just be a cast Kroxa twice kind of turn. Make them discard 2 cards. Use my turn, make you go down a couple cards. Alright, I guess we go to combat first. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do here. I mean, if they want to counter Kroxa, I'm cool with it. Yeah, sweet. I'm just going to put it in the command zone anyway. And we just cast it again. I mean, so basically they cast the spell and used mana. They've saved themselves a point of damage by using that instead of just discarding it to the trigger. Because they got around the Judith trigger. They discarded the board, or the Wrath there. So now Kroxa goes to the graveyard and shoot you for 1. Now if they find red mana here and they resolve this Bolus on a otherwise stable board, I'm looking like I'm in a little bit of trouble. If they don't cast Murderous Rider, then that's a little awkward as well. I might just run out of creature here. They clearly have counter magic. Like, obvious counter magic is obvious. Alright, let's go ahead and jam this Judith in there. I don't need to play in the counter magic here, right? It's not the worst case scenario if they kill Judith. Nyxos's Cruelty. That's a little annoying. It actually exiles my dude. Could Price of Fame it. Don't have a way to sacrifice it. Price of Fame, 1, 2. If I go Price of Fame this and then surveil 2 cards into my graveyard, I can cast Kroxa, right? That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that worth doing to get Kroxa on board? Also puts Judith in the graveyard. Okay, so I am basically forcing myself to put the top 2 cards into my graveyard here. Command the Dreadhorde. This looks so silly if I do it. Is it worth getting Kroxa out, or do we want to draw Command the Dreadhorde? I think we just want to cast Kroxa here. But we know their hand is all whatchamacallit. This looks so dumb now. It's fine. It's fine. I think I can just cast this Cavalier of Night now. Because if Cavalier of Night dies, I get Judith back. This is awkward. I basically got around Exile this way, and I had a plan. But the plan kind of fell through here. Yeah. Okay, let's cast Cavalier. Just put a 4/5 lifelink on board. If it dies, if it gets countered, sure. If it dies, I get Judith back. Drown in the Loch, okay? I do want to draw this Command the Dreadhorde, though. Well, my hand doesn't actually do anything, and we still kind of suspect they're on a lot of counter magic here. Can I just play Murderous Rider? I guess I can cast Kroxa now. See what they got going on there. That makes my command a lot worse, though. They're not casting anything. They don't have. They could be on all red cards here. All right, let's play a Murderous Rider. I'm not going to run Command the Dreadhorde out into open mana. Not when it could have just an extremely profound effect on this game. Extremely profound. Arcane Signet is red mana. And they just tap right away. Or pass right away, I should say. Fabled Passage, sure. So that actually lets me pick and choose a little bit more with the Kroxa. Yeah, I guess red mana, right? And let's go ahead and attack. Get our Kroxa counter to let them resolve Bolus, and then hopefully Command the Dreadhorde is relevant. It brings back a Narset, and we can set it up so that we keep one creature in our graveyard. That doesn't seem very good. I could actually just run out Elspeth's Nightmare and use it as a duress to try and clear the way for this Command the Dreadhorde. That doesn't seem too bad, right? If they want to counter Elspeth's Nightmare, that's fine too. See what they do. Sinister Sabotage, sure. Well, this wasn't a very important card, so I'm kind of happy that they blew a counterspell there. Now, granted, they can resolve this Bolus. Wow, they ditched Enter the God Eternals. All right, we just going to slam Bolus, or we got something else going on here? Ironcrag Pyromancer, pretty cool. So that tells me they probably have a draw spell here. I'm going to try and bait with Kroxa now. Jeez. All right, that's not good. Going to attack. Gains me life. I might as well, right? Ping. And then they could, if they have like a Chemister's Insight, that'd be kind of annoying. I feel like I'm supposed to go for this Command the Dreadhorde, but they clearly have interaction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I do have to exile a creature from my graveyard. Probably just Judith, right? Cavalier can kill something. All right, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure, Judy. See if they want to counter Kroxa here. If not, they discard a card. All right, doesn't feel like they have counter magic. Castle Lochthwain in response. Lose 3 just to keep the other 2 cards in your hand. I'm very surprised that they decided to keep the God Eternals. They pitched Brazen Borrower. That's the worst card in their hand. I'm going to go ahead and keep this mountain in my hand so I can exile it to Bolus. If that's what we end up doing. I mean, they have to deal with Kroxa now, right? They could Bolus Kroxa. Omen of the Sea. I like it. So they get to Pyromancer away my Murderous Rider. Because of the Pyromancer trigger. Draw your second card each turn. 2 on top. Don't like that as much. I do like that I'm still at 29 life, so Command the Dreadhorde can just get everything, including, like, their creatures. All right, here comes Bolus. That's going to probably just kill Kroxa. I'll put it in the graveyard. And then we should be clear on this Command the Dreadhorde here. Yeah, I think we got the okay for this. I don't know if we need to play around some mana leak type effect. All right, let's go ahead and go 1, 2. So this is 10, 16, 17, 18. I'm going to go to 11 here. I'm probably going to sack their Brazen Borrower. And we just got a bunch of triggers here. Plus the Sir Conrad. Cavalier. Sack Kroxa. I guess they didn't want to wait there. We're looking pretty good here because we're probably going to sack Kroxa there. Get this trigger. Still have mana up. 2 activations of that. We have a Narset. Yeah, Command the Dread Horde just completely winning that game there. We were a little conservative with it. It's possible our opponent had counter magic in hand. We'll just never know. But I think playing around it there is nice. Especially since we had other stuff to do, right? Baiting with the Kroxa seems fine because we don't really care if the Kroxa goes to the graveyard, which is kind of cool. Anyway, Kroxa going off there. A little bit of a tough match against a control matchup, but they stumbled on their red mana, give us some time to get ahead, and capitalized on that with a big game-winning spell. That was match 3, I believe. We're 2-1 here, so we'll go ahead and run it back for match number 4, and just a couple more matches. Thanks for hanging out. See you there. All right, we're back, and we are against the other Titan of Nature's Wrath, Uro. We are on the play. They're going to ramp a lot. We do need answers to Euro, but we have no red mana. I think I just take my freebie mole here. This seems a lot better. It doesn't actually have removal this time, but it does seem pretty strong. Uro, unfortunately, is the better older brother of Kroxa because it just draws you and gains you life, whereas this makes them discard card, but doesn't always make them lose life. So it's a little bit of an unbalanced design there. I'm going to keep. We'll go turn 2 Priest here. I do have 2/3 and a removal spell. Go and run out some black mana, play the Priest, and pass. Ideally, you want to cast this as your last card. I've yet to actually use this effectively, so I don't know that it's super important. Might just go for like a Lazotep Reaver or something a little more synergistic. Binding of the Titans. That could benefit both of us. They get to eat cards out of my graveyard. Put cards in their graveyard. Mass Manipulation. Elspeth's Nightmare. Probably good against a Mana Dorks that they're going to play. Or I assume they're going to play. We are just going to play Mayhem Devil, though. And Priest them out. Worth noting on Chapter 3, when they sacrifice this, I get a Mayhem Devil trigger. Alright, so they eat a couple cards out of my graveyard. That's fine. They don't actually gain any life, but, you know, I didn't put those cards in my graveyard in the first place, so it's not like I wasted much time. More importantly, this is going to, by itself, put 4 cards in their graveyard. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them just run Euro out there, gain 3 life, ramp ahead, take 1 off the Mayhem Devil. But if they run out a little Dork, which they did not, so much better. Let's see if they put that in the graveyard or if they put a land in the graveyard. Ooh, they did not have another land to put into play off Uro. That is great news for us. They're going to get one back next turn. They did, in fact, put Uro in the graveyard. Could get Elspeth's Nightmare going. Could also just play a Yara. I don't actually want to make him discard, which is funny. I don't think they're going to be able to play that next turn. Alright, I think we just go Ayara, attack for 3. Yeah, I think it's more important to just hold up the Priest in case something goes like terribly wrong here. Alright, Binding of the Titans, again, that's going to go ahead and get them one of their lands back to their hand. Or Euro if they really just want to replay that. But they're also going to take 1 from Mayhem Devil. Elspeth's Nightmare does exile the graveyard, which seems good against this sort of deck. We've got the good old Titan off here. Problem is, we're probably not going to see too much of my Titan here. Breeding Pool back to your hand. You got it. And take 1 off your Saga. Mayhem Devil just incidentally done 2 extra damage to my opponent off of their own cards. Gonna shock for a Breeding Pool. So yeah, the Binding of the Titan did put another card in the graveyard, but it also took Euro out of their graveyard. Probably counter magic up here. So probably just run Mayhem Devil into whatever. Oh, they have to discard for turn. Discard Krasis. Alright, so I kind of want to play this. What's the worst that can happen here? Like a Frilled Mystic or something like that? Just a normal counter spell. I think I'm going to run out Reveler and actually pitch the Temple here. and hope to draw another untapped source, which is a little risky, but it gives me a creature that I'm willing to sacrifice to the priest. Yeah, I think that's right. I don't... If I attack into, like, a Night Pack Ambusher, that would really suck. Alright, let's go ahead and play this. See if my opponent wants to respond with anything. Frilled Mystic would be okay. Yep, that is in fact a Frilled Mystic. So now I gotta kind of think here what I want to do. They can cast Uro next turn if I put a card in their graveyard. So here, I can always kill Uro though with Murderous Rider, so that's not that bad. So if I go Kroxa and I can sack Ayara plus Kroxa, it's not actually wonderful, is it? We're gonna do that though. Yeah. Oh, actually... No, there's no way to kill Frilled Mystic without sacking 2 creatures, right? So if I go sack this... I could sack this plus this, or I could use Priest to sack these 2. Sacking Ayara is not, like, amazing for me here, but it does put another card in the graveyard. Alright, let's just do this. Submit... Sack, sack. Put Kroxa in the command zone. Get our black mana. Mayhem Devil is going to go boom, boom. Because they're going to sack the Frilled Mystic to the Priest. Resolve, resolve. Priest makes them sack. I get some black mana and draw a card. It's not a bad turn. They go to 12 here, down to 10 off the Mayhem Devil. And I can potentially draw something here. If I draw a red source, nah, I can't quite cast Kroxa again. Maybe I should have played the Scryland first. Alright, now we're waiting on the opponent here. Sacking Ayara there might have just been bad. Maybe I just want them to have this, especially since it gives them action, enough cards to just play Uro. But I'm not really worried about them playing Uro, right? Because I can just Rider it. I don't know if the opponent stepped away for a minute or not, but we are waiting on them currently. Not to mention they've got the Kroxa trigger here as well. So actually they're going to take 1, 2. Yeah, never mind. They're still just going to take 2 off the Mayhem Devil. Looks like my opponent might have disconnected or left. Alright, sure. So I guess the question now is, do we want to just play Elspeth's Nightmare? Oh yeah, we get the Ayara trigger as well. They discarded Spectral Sailor, I assume because they just ran out of time. They go down to 10. I lost that mana because I didn't use it. Theater of Horrors. I'm going to play a 3-drop next turn. That's probably fine. Give me some advantage going here. And let's see if our opponent is back for their turn. If not, I think they just concede on their next rope, which would suck. This is a fun matchup, Titan versus Titan. Again, I think their Titan's better, but... when Uro is stuck on 3 lands, that is not great news. Ramastov. Such cool cards. They said they'll probably make more of these if people have a positive reaction to them. I also think they're like pretty fair, right? As far as giant busted cards go. They're not like so game breaking that they're unbeatable, which I like. I like it a lot. Big flashy cards that are beatable and have a little bit of restriction to them. Does look like our opponent unfortunately disconnected. So we will see what happens here. I feel like I'm pretty far ahead. My hand's not amazing, but I do have another activation of Kroxa here. See, there's a lot of ways to take advantage of the Titans while they're on the stack to sacrifice them too. And they pass. We are just gonna... Oh, opponent's back. They are back. They skipped a turn, unfortunately. I'm going to attack with Mayhem Devil. If they go for like a Night Pack Ambusher or something, I can... Actually, I should probably just attack with this as well. And they scoop. Yeah, I was going to attack with Priest there as well. But yeah, I have Murderous Rider up in case they go for something. Well, I might just let it happen. I don't know. Them resolving Uro and not having a way to deal with it seems pretty bad. I would have liked to see how that would have went if my opponent hadn't accidentally skipped a turn there, but it happened. It looked like they disconnected for that full turn, and then they came back just in time to realize they had skipped a turn and didn't feel like playing it out, which is understandable. But that puts us at a smooth little 3-1. We unfairly won the Titan matchup, and we will play one more match. Regardless, win or lose, as long as we get to play Magic, we'll call it an end after that. And I hope you're enjoying this. I will see you all in match number 5. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for our final match against Sir Psycho Sexy. Gallia of the Endless Dance, the Satyr chick. I think I can do better. I really want to see both colors in my opening hand. Although, admittedly, if we draw a third land and go this into this, that's fine. But we are on the draw here, so let's mull double red. If we draw a black source, this hand's pretty good, especially since Elspeth's Nightmare does kill them. But we really need double black to make it good. Just take another mull here. Wow. Okay. I guess Judith to the bottom. Cavalier's the most expensive card. I mean, this is still solid if we draw lands. Cavalier seems like a good stabilizing card against red-green, though. Alright, let's pitch Judith here. And unfortunately, take a mull to 6 in Brawl is just not going to cut it. So, Gallia, your other satyrs get +1/+1 and have haste. When you attack with 3 or more creatures, you may discard a card at random to draw 2 cards. None of this is going to matter if we don't draw lands here, right? Again, if we just don't play Magic, we'll go and run it out. Boom, boom. Sure, I'll make you discard a card. So now they can mentor here, but I do have something that can trade for Goblin Banneret at least. Draw a third land, we can go Woe Strider or Murderous Rider, that's not bad. Probably not Satyr Tribal, probably playing some amount of Satyrs. They could go Pump Banneret to get a counter on Gallia. They do not want to just trade off to do that. Pyromancer, nice, very nice with a thing, especially since this can block. And unfortunately, we didn't hit the third land, so this is probably going to be a non-game here, but we'll play it out. Opponent can attack with everything, shoot this with Pyromancer, and they've got kind of this combo set up, so I don't see how we're coming back into this. I guess I can Murderous Rider or something. Even that doesn't bother me too much if I just hit lands. So Pyromancer, shoot me, maybe? If I were them, I might just actually shoot me. Discard a card and then draw 2. Nope, get the blocker out of the way. Okay, I guess we can not play Magic. That's fine. Sure, I like my opponent's deck. We're going to play one more because we didn't actually get to play that time. 3 mulligans. Unfortunately, didn't really do anything. Was that only, did we only mulligan once? No, we put a card on the bottom. So yeah, 3 mulligans into 2 landers is not going to cut it. And our hand was fairly well set up. You can see the opponent's just trying to aggro out. But if we can keep up with creatures and match their creatures with our creatures, then we're pretty good. We probably would have had to Murderous Rider the Pyromancer there. But that deck looks pretty sweet. Just balls to the wall aggro. I like it. Sir Psycho Crazy or Sexy Crazy Psycho got us there. And we'll play one more because I would actually like to go out playing Magic, not just sitting there and taking a beat in. So see you there. Surprise match number 6 coming up. All right, welcome back. We're against D Young 1. We are yet again on the play with a Kroxa versus Uro matchup. So we'll see if D Young can go ahead and avenge the previous Uro player. Witch's Oven's decent in this deck. Just a free sack outlet. Again, we don't have the cat combo because you don't draw them together enough to really justify that. His hand's actually not that great now that I think about it. Drawing removal's not the worst, but we're not doing anything for a long time. If they play a Mana Dork, I'm pretty happy to... Yeah, if they play a Mana Dork, I'm happy to just price a Fame it if I can, which I probably won't be able to. Alright, let's make 2 food, put that in the graveyard, and discard a card, please. Island. Sure. Drawing a 3-drop there would have been pretty sweet, but no such luck. I am going to sack a food here on end step. Opponent might just run out Uro. Actually help him a little bit. It's kind of awkward that Kroxa helps Uro, but Uro doesn't help Kroxa, you know. Clearly, they favored one over the other. I don't know how they would have made this different. If they had lost 3 no matter what, then this would be a pretty powerful card. Let's see if they run out Uro here. No, they want to keep up counter magic. They want to play Borin magic. That's fine. I don't plan on doing anything anyway. Especially if these are my draws. A lot of 3-drops in this deck and just nothing to do with it. Good news for us is our opponent is more worried about what we can do than advancing their own game plan. And again, I think I should just sack the food here. Use the mana while I've got it. I'm going to run out of 5-drop. It's going to get countered. The only reason to leave that unsacked is for Mayhem Devil, which is, in my opinion, not enough of a reason to do it if you're not playing against like a bunch of 1/1s or something like that. Deadly Invasion. A little late on that one. That would have been really good to get out early. Which 5-drop are we willing to let our opponent eat? I guess we can't actually even cast the Cavalier, so we're going to Doom Whisper into this cheap counterspell. Could also just play Dreadhorde Invasion. I mean, we know they have counter magic, right? There's no way they don't. They didn't play a Growth Cycle or anything. I don't really want to get my Doom Whisperer countered. Probably just play Dreadhorde Invasion here. If they want to counter that, that's okay. What you got, opponent? Quench. I can pay for that. Fine by me. Okay, so my opponent went down a card. I guess they just want to get that in the graveyard for Uro. Glad I didn't run out of 5-drop when I played into a counterspell I could actually pay for. That's kind of nice. So yeah, they probably just ran that out to kind of waste some of my mana and also gets a card in the graveyard for Uro. So the count is 2 off right now. Not bad. I'm just probably just going to run out Doom Whisperer. I don't even care if Uro resolves, really, because I have multiple ways to kill it. Plus, Dreadhorde Invasion is a nice little combo with Cavalier if we ever draw the extra black mana there. Doom Whisperer we can use to help find stuff. We need a Swamp, and this deck is a majority black mana, but no such luck. They already used Quench. Yeah, just run out Doom Whisperer. Not too many 2-mana counter spells running around in Brawl. I guess Disdainful Stroke is one of them. That it is. And did we just put the 5th card in? No. So they need one more card for Uro. And them resolving an Uro isn't really that big of a deal. Just Price of Fame it for value. Might even be able to go Price of Fame into Kroxa. Plus, remember, Uro, you know, is a little vulnerable to Commence the Dreadhorde or whatever it's called, since it is a card in the graveyard. Opponent is probably very happy to counter whatever here. I play Judith. Yeah, I should do this pre-combat, right? No reason really not to. They use the counter spell, and then next turn they can play Uro. Thrix. Sure. I'm going to eat to extinction that. Hopefully they don't have Veil of Summer as someone got me earlier today. Alright, Judith's on board. So your expensive cards cost less. Essence Capture Judith. Counter target creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter. So Judith is still going to get countered here. But I can now Price of Fame this. Sure. Yeah, I mean, sure, right? Can't stop them from countering Judith there. Priest Ayara. So next turn we're going to probably have to eat to extinction this thing. We still only have 2 black sources, so I can't rely on the Cavalier. I don't want Ayara, but I might want the Priest. Priest seems reasonably good. That gives me something to go, like, eat plus Priest. Okay, resolve the Essence Capture. And let's get in there for 2. Now, I guess they can go Uro plus hold up a counterspell. Our opponent is very clearly like, I'm going to be the only one playing Magic. So that plan might not work. Could go for 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't go for Kroxa, actually. Commence the endgame. Powerful card. Make a 4/4, draw 2 cards, sure. Blast Zone, okay. I can blow up Witch's Oven, I suppose. So draw the Priest here. Make a 3/3. Opponent laughs with their 4/4. Can't cast my Cavalier. Can't cast my Kroxa. Can cast my Priest, though. That was a sorcery speed commence the endgame. This is an instant that can't be countered, so that's a little interesting. That being said, I will just pass the turn back here. Opponent's still not running Uro out. Probably looking for a way to protect it, I imagine. Maybe not. Cavalier would be awesome, but I suspect, you know, they're playing Quench. I suspect they've got just an insane amount of counter magic. They also really want to play at instant speed. Ooh, big Krasis. Well, that's probably the game there, right? Draw 3. 7/7. I'm just going to eat to extinction that on end step. I need to find this other black mana ASAP. Really? So I could double block? Nah, we're not going to double block. We're going to take our damage. We're going to kill your Krasis, and then I'm out of removal for your thing. If I find a black source on top, I'll keep it on top. Rankle. Rankle seems decent. I will draw that. So I can cast Kroxa here, or I could cast Rankle and just draw a card. Don't really want to draw my opponent extra cards, but they've already got a bunch of cards. Kroxa is just fine here. Rankle into a 2-drop red creature. What are the chances of that? Alright, let's go ahead and attack for 4. Play Kroxa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This does make my Cavalier a little bit worse. Well, we get to eat a card out of their hand. Granted, they just drew a bunch of cards off that Krasis. Also, we just point out the flavor of Eat to Extinction alongside Kroxa. You just basically have to play the 2 cards together. So they discarded an island, which means they took some damage. They're going to scry here. And you know what looks really good? Blast Zone on 2. Because I have 3 valuable 2-drops on board. Are we going to see Uro finally? Oh, what are we targeting? They could have Mass Manipulation, right? Mass Manipulation would basically make me sack my own board. Okay, so yeah, I go... Yeah, I mean, this is annoying. It's basically going to trade my board for their board. Sack 1, 2 creatures. Do the thing. Put that in the graveyard again. I can cast it, but I'm going to put it in the graveyard, and then I'm going to sack this to the Witch's Oven. So they're not going to gain anything here. Massacre Girl. And then we sack this. So my opponent gets nothing here, but they did make me wipe the board. I also don't get to use that mana. Oh, I do get to use that mana. Let's go. Not bad eating through a Mass Manipulation like that. Could be a lot worse. Opponent probably knew what was going to happen there. Still no black mana. There we go. Alright, so now we get in with Rankle and probably make him discard. I can hold on to Cavalier here to kill Uro or another big creature. Massacre Girl is not amazing here. Maybe I just want to draw off Rankle. I'm going to play Rankle, that's for sure. I think I want to draw. Make each of us draw a card. So opponent will go down to 13 here, right? I mean, they have so much mana, I don't love the idea of drawing them a card, but I have a bunch of 3-drops and stuff that I wouldn't mind drawing here as well. Perfect. Get that down, pass the turn. My opponent has played just so conservatively this game, it's ridiculous with the with the Uro. They haven't yet cast it out of the graveyard, which is kind of crazy. How amazing would it have been if we just drew Commence the Endgame there, like... Get back Thrix, get back your Uro, get back my creatures. Alright, here comes something expensive. 7 mana. Is it... Oh, 8 mana. Uh-oh. Enray's Forerunner? Maybe? Gadwick for 1 million. Powerful. So opponent is just going to draw their whole deck this game. Draw 5. Yowza. Alright, now Rankle's definitely just drawing cards constantly. I mean, we've got Theater of Horrors going, but we don't have anything nearly as good as Gadwick. Plus, Gadwick can start tapping my creatures down. So I think I go to combat first, and if they want to cast something pre-combat to tap down Rankle, that kind of paves the way for me to play Cavalier and just kill Gadwick. See what Theater of Horrors eats here. I don't want to cast anything pre-combat because then if they have a counterspell, they get to tap Rankle and use the counterspell the way they want to. Convolute. This is standard legal. Okay. So I'm going to go to combat. See if they want to do anything to tap Rankle. They should. I'll make them discard a card if they don't have anything here. Or I'm sorry, I'll make them sack a creature. Well, combat's already been declared, so bounce spell or something. This is so good for me if Rankle gets to connect. Okay. I'm going to draw a card. Or we're going to draw a card and sack a creature. Let's see if they want to, like, bounce my army in response or something. Or flash in a creature of their own. Jeez, really? Just okay losing Gadwick. I guess they have a full hand. Now what? We can cast this off of our Theater. Which is fine, I suppose. And then what? Keep up Murderous Rider? Hypnotic Sprite. That's a card. Put one more in the graveyard here. Here's where I wish Kroxa was actually in my hand, you know. I might just play Massacre Girl. I could also start using Theater to just deal damage. I think I'm actually, I'm just going to play this Massacre Girl and pass. 4/4 Menace is fine. We've got to see Euro now, right? You've got to have just like all the counter magic in the world, and this is where it gets dicey for me. Nothing for 3 mana that interacts at instant speed, otherwise I don't think they would have let Rankle just eat their Gadwick there. They might have like a Tameo to get a creature back, but... Convolute, we're going pretty deep here. Alright, Uro finally makes an appearance. Puts him back up to 12. Land into play, sure. This has been a good game. I feel like I'm really far behind now just given the quantity of mana and resources they have. But it's not like completely lost or anything. 2, 4, they still have 8 mana for the turn. They've got a Hypnotic Sprite if they really want to cast that, I guess. Can block Rankle. Uh-oh, they're looking at my non-land permanents? I don't like that. Return to Nature. Powerful. Yeah. Kills an enchantment. So there goes my card advantage. And they're not casting this Hypnotic Sprite. Interesting. Alright, so Dreadhorde Invasion, make a token. What happens here if I go Massacre Girl attack? They flash in something, right? It can be anything that makes a token. Anything at all, and then they double block, but I have Murderous Rider. So I attack with this and this. I guess I keep that in hand for Rankle. Alright, I'm going to attack, force the action here. They didn't play Hypnotic Sprite, so they've got something. Or maybe they don't have something. Jeez, really? Alright, I'm just going to make you sack Uro again. Discard a card, lose a life, draw a card, sack a creature. Brineborn Cutthroat, sure. Do we want to try and get him with this Murderous Rider? 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. I already chose I'm going to discard a card, though, which is awkward, so I can't also play Cavalier. If we go Murderous Rider here, they have an interaction, and then I can't play Cavalier because I have to discard a card. It's really bizarre. Really bizarre interaction there. Maybe I just say okay. Like, okay, you lose your Cutthroat, I lose my zombie token. Again, remember, they did not cast this, so they must have something else in hand. Otherwise, opponent would have at least put this on board. Drew a Woe Strider. Sack this, you sack your Cutthroat. And opponent's down to 4 now. Alright, so next, take off full control. I'm going to cast Woe Strider. If they counter that, we go for the Cavalier, I think. Could also just replay Woe Strider. Opponent says okay. I don't think I want to fight over this. I want them to do something end of turn here, and then I can Murderous Rider. Alright, so they get an attack off Uro. They also have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mana. Wilderness Reclamation is pretty strong. Doesn't mean they're probably going to tap out here, though, right? Uro can attack. They're not scared of dying on the swing back, that's for sure. I think I can block with this goat. Although, I do have things that make that goat relevant. Block with the goat or not. Go to 14. I think I'm going to go to 14 here. I think that goat could come in handy here. Can sack it to Witch's Oven to gain a life. I can sack it to Rankle's Trigger. I assume we're going to see this now. Shared Summons. Oh, that could be bad. Alright, so search for 2 creatures with different names. Put them into your hand. Looking for some creatures you can cast at instant speed, I'm guessing. Frilled Mystic plus Dream Eater, Brazen Borrower. Okay. Powerful stuff. And then here comes the Hypnotic Sprite. Well, this is going to be annoying to try to get through. Brazen Borrower, Rankle. So I could sack Rankle. I mean, I could just let it go back to my hand. But I could sack Rankle and fizzle the Brazen Borrower here. That puts the 5th card for Kroxa. I think I'm going to do that. It's one less blocker to get through. I wish I could deal with that thing. Ooh, that's pretty spicy. So Brazen Borrower goes straight to the graveyard. Here comes Hypnotic Sprite, and this is my opening to use Murderous Rider if I really want to. So we go Rider on Uro or Rider on Flyer. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think just Rider on this Flyer. Although they have got the stupid Dream Trawler too. They're just really set up here. Alright, I'm going to kill Uro. And then they can have their Hypnotic Sprite. They can untap with this Dream Eater in hand plus infinite interaction. And they get to untap now as well. And stupid Wilderness Reclamation. All the mana in the world. So I think I just attack and force some action here before combat. Crow and War could come in handy. Alright, let's attack. Either of these trade for Dream Eater on the attack, and they might just use it to bounce a creature back, so that's probably okay. I assume they're going to cast Dream Eater. Yep. Wilderness Reclamation was probably the best draw they could have had to just make sure they can always interact on my turn, but keep progressing. They have so much mana, they can take advantage of it. So they're going to Surveil 4 and then bounce something back to my hand, probably Massacre Girl. They only put Thornwood Falls in the graveyard, 3 other cards on top. They bounced Dreadhorde Invasion. Weird. Okay. I'm fine with it. Why Dreadhorde Invasion? Why not my creatures? They can't actually block both of my creatures here because Massacre Girl has Menace, which it looks like they might have forgotten about. Sure. Okay. Go to damage. They're going to cast something else here. No. Alright. So now what? Cast Dreadhorde Invasion. Felt like they wanted to counter that on the way back down. Sure. Negate's okay. Now what? Kroxa? Make them just have infinite counter spells here, I guess. I want to get the counter spells out of the way so I can Crow and War that thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess that was pretty bad. I just ate all the creatures that Cavalier of Night can bring back. Alright, Kroxa on the stack. You got another counter spell for that one. Frilled Mystic, sure. Alright, keep it going. Every counter spell in the world known to man. Remember, they kept 3 cards on top of their library, too. Kroxa gets countered. Probably supposed to put that back in my command zone so I can cast it regardless of whether or not I have the right number of escape cards. I would say they've got to be running out of counter spells, but you can see this deck is just flash cards plus counter spells, so I don't know if this is the most entertaining thing in the world to watch, especially now that my opponent has decided to take forever. No offense, opponent. Alright, pass. So again, our game plan is just to jam everything we possibly can until they run out of stuff, which doesn't look like it's happening. Alright, here comes Uro again. Crow and War would be nice here. What are the chances anything I play resolves next turn? Not very likely. They've still got so many cards in their graveyard. I no longer have the means to attack into them, really. They didn't put a land into play. Sorcery Speed, Night Pack Ambusher. And they've got this stupid thing active now, too. No block. 4 cards in hand, 4 counter spells. I think this slipped from us. I think we just lost this game. Still have some bangers that we could draw, but I need to fight through so much counter magic or somehow get them to deck themselves. They still have 15 cards despite drawing every card known to man. Swamp. Alright, so run out the first spell, get it countered. What a boring deck to play against. Didn't say please. Mill me for 3. Alright, run out the next one. There goes the Command the Dreadhorde. If this gets countered, I think we can go ahead and scoop. You got me. Yep, just powerful spells that you can cast at instant speed and every counter spell known to man. And we fudged it. We got him so close but couldn't seal the deal. We let Uro stick. Opponent played it out and they got us. So we beat the first Uro, mostly to timeout and mana screw. The second Uro beat us. And remains to be seen which of the Titans is better. That was a long, boring game. I'm sorry we went out on that. I can't justify that play style. If that's your thing, you like tap out, like, counter every single thing, then go for it. It's pretty good strategy, but it does not make for fun gameplay on the opposite side. So kind of a boring game to go out with, but I had a lot of fun regardless. And what did we end up? Like a solid 3-3. We got to play this Kroxa deck that I enjoy quite a bit. A nice little casual deck. Again, if you really want to be top tier in Brawl, you should play green, because green is busted in standard right now. And there are probably some tweaks you can make here, so let me know in the comments below what you would have done differently. I feel like we saw kind of the same cards over and over again, so we didn't get to showcase a lot of different stuff here. But we did get to see the deck kind of go off and do its thing. We also saw it get completely crushed by other people with just way more card advantage. So there you go. Kroxa Brawl, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out. Again, if you want to comment below and tell me what decks you want to see in Brawl, I'd be more than happy to make some more Brawl content for people. Anything else you want to see, the comments are the place to do it. Let me know. Or Twitter at @MTG_Manarocks. That's going to go ahead and do it. Thanks for watching. My name's Timothy here with Manarocks. I'll see you all next time.